Tech Cocktail Conversations, candid insights from startup founders, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders from around the globe.
Hey, my name is Aziz Gilani. I'm a director at the Mercury Fund. We're a seed stage venture capital fund that focuses on the middle of the US. Yeah, I mean, so we've seen a ton of activity from our side. We've invested in several companies this year. But you're completely right. A lot of people are talking about how there's a Series A crunch. And I think it's a product of the fact that there's just been a ton of investment on the seed stage by a lot of different angel groups and a lot of different crowdfunding mechanisms. And so what you've seen is as that number of funding has gotten much, much bigger, the number of actual Series A fundings has stayed relatively constant. And so we've got this kind of mismatch between a very, very large entry funnel and then, a pretty consistently sized kind of Series A piece. And so a lot of people perceive this as being kind of a funding crunch on the A side. You can call it whatever you want, but there are a ton of companies that are trying to iterate themselves to a sustainable business model that are probably going to run out of time. I really do think this is a very healthy thing. I mean, we're in a business where we're trying to find sustainable businesses. And more people experimenting, trying to find those sustainable, profitable business models is a good thing. Now, with some seed funding, you can iterate a certain number of times, and maybe you can get yourself to a traction point, and sometimes you can't. And it's just a natural part of the startup ecosystem. We should be expecting it. We shouldn't freak out over it. It's just the way our business works. Look, so crowdfunding under the Jobs Act is a big change that we've seen now, in which we've made the funding of startups accessible to, everyday folks, instead of just SEC accredited investors. I don't know how that's going to impact the world. My guess is that it means that we're going to see a lot more funding of startups by, everyday folks. But, at the same time, we've always seen the first round of funding for companies be friends and family, and I think you'll just see a continuation of that. So there's been a lot of noise in the blogosphere about how, the consumer side of the internet is dead, how it's a lot harder to launch a mobile application because the model is broken. You've seen folks like Fred Wilson write blog posts saying, hey, it's a lot harder to get this stuff launched. You've seen folks like Dave McClure kind of counter saying, yeah, well, it's always been an iterative process. I think what we're seeing is that, normally you see investment in startup success happen in waves, and I personally am excited because as an old enterprise software guy, we're seeing enterprise software really pick up right now. SaaS-based enterprise software businesses are kind of getting their day in the sun, and I'm really excited about that. So whenever you hear about these big data startups that are launching right now, these great analytics companies that are coming out, these SaaS-based businesses that are trying to help enterprises kind of sort through, the social media landscape. I think those are all really, really cool businesses that I'm very excited about. And I think that, you're going to see them do more and more activity.